In this video, I want to cover uh, Azure AI Search, how to create an index, and also how to create a custom skill. So the first step I did was to create a resource group. So my resource group is called uh, AI Search Demo Video Resource Group. Once I created the resource group, in case you don't know how to do it, basically just go to Home, create a resource, and look for resource group, and that's it. Just click on Create Resource Group and give it a name, and it will get created. Select your region, etc. So I created my resource group. After created After creating the resource group, I created a storage account, an AI search service, and also an AI service. So the process is the same. Go to create a resource, and let's say go for storage account. And once you have the storage account, just make sure that you are selecting the resource group which you created, give it a name, region, etc. So to do the same for the storage account, then AI search. Same process, Azure AI Search, create and give it a name, a region, and for AI service as well, just look for AI service. Azure AI Services, create and give it a name, region, etc. And you'll be able to create these resources within the resource group. So you can see them here. This is my resource group, and you can see so these additional ones are created as part of other things I did, but you will see all the services, all uh, the resources you created. So once you've created them, to create an index first, you need your data. So to get your data, so you need to get your data into, say, an Azure blob. To do that, you go to your storage account. In my case, it was a demo video storage account. You click on upload, and you basically bring your files from wherever they are into the storage account. So yeah, so in my case, if I show you the storage account, uh, storage browser, blob container, I have got the files I wanted in Margie's brochure, and these are these 6 PDFs. They look something like this. They basically are information about different travel destinations. So I've got my data in storage. Now I want to index it. Now to do that, what you need to do is go to again the Azure search service you created. Like in my case, it's demo video search service. You click on import, then you select your existing data source. That is from where you want to bring data into this index. In our case, it is blob storage. Give it a name, and we want to do extract both content and metadata. Metadata is information about the file, for example, its name, its size, date of creation, etc. Then you select where that file, the data is. In our case, it's in our storage account, which was uh, demo video. Where is that? So AI search demo video, it was here. And then I can select wherever those files were, and I can select it. So I've done that already. Once your files have been imported, what you will see is, let me make sure I got that right. So you will see, let me do that again, blob storage, and then, yeah, so you basically select your data source name, you can select your connection, you give a container name that is where and what should be the name of that index. Let's put it that way. And then sorry, not the name of the index. Basically, name of the container where the information is, and then you can add cognitive skills. I have to put some names here. Give me a second. Data source name. Let's say Margis 2, if I can put that. Connection is existing connection to storage, Margis brochure, and then Margis brochure 2. I think I can do that. Let me check. No, it's one, sorry, it's the same as Margis brochures. And then once you've created the connected to your data source, while you will when you indexing those files, you can also add what's called cognitive skills. So let's say your data has information about people, it has information about locations, etc. So you can use existing AI services around speech or entity recognition, OCR, etc., to extract this information and also make them part of the index so that that information also becomes searchable. So to do that, you first select the AI service you want to use. So point it to the AI service you created at the beginning. Once you've done that, you can specify the enrichments or the information you want to extract using the AI services. So I want to use OCR, for example, to extract text from those from the files, and let me name it 2 because I already have one. And I want to, once extracted, I want to put it in a file in a field in the index called merged content. So the content will come in a field called content. And once I've done the OCR and I've collected both the metadata and data, I can put it in a field called merge content. And then you specify what type of things you want to or information you want to extract from the as part of enrichment. So you can extract things like names, key phrases, what language it is. You can do location extraction, etc. So say I select translate text, people name, etc. And then I'm not covering knowledge store here, but maybe in some other video. Then you create customize index. Here you specify uh, what the information, all the informations you extracted, they are given a name. Like I extracted people and I extracted translated text, etc. So now here you can specify which of those fields will be searchable, which are retrievable, which one you want them sorted, etc. Once you've specified this, you can uh, you specify the indexer, metadata storage name. I think was this. I have to give it another name because I already have this existing. So then you create an indexer, and indexer basically will then indexer is the middle point, is the, let's say, think of it as the middleman, which will pick information or which will orchestrate the whole extraction of information from your source, which is the PDF files, and put them in the index, which is the destination, which has all the fields. So once you do all, once you click submit, indexer will run, it will do the AI enrichment, etc., put things in the index. And if everything goes fine, which I hope it would, when you go back to your AI search service, you will see in under search management three things. You will see the indexer you created. You click on the indexer, and you can see once if it has run, it ran successfully, and if there were any errors, just click on it, and you will see if there are any errors or not. After the indexer, sorry, I'm at the wrong place. Then you will see the skill set. So because we are using enrichments or AI enrichments to extract information, those enrichments are called skill sets. So like we did entity recognition, so that's a skill set already pre-built into in Azure. Then you have merge skill set and your other skills, OCR skill sets. You all of these skill sets available, and Indexer is basically using these skill sets to get the information from the document. And from once and then the final data is put in the index itself. So let's say this was the index which you created, and you will see all the fields which were created in the index based on the selections we did previously. uh, Again, assuming everything goes fine, when you try it, to see whether you are able to search or not, go to the overview of search service, click on search explorer, click on JSON view, and if you just click start search here, you start finding the information. Uh, available in the index. So we had extracted locations; those are available here. This is the content, which is basically the information from the file, and then there is merged content where we had extracted the information from the file plus metadata, etc. And it has all the other information which we selected. I can look for some specific documents, like documents which have the word Dubai in it, and the index will start giving me information about those files which have the word Dubai in it. Now you will find, now let's say if I do select and I say top words, which is a field in our index, you will see it that I have a field called top words and it has a value. Now, there is no inbuilt skill available which can help me find what was the topmost word used in a document. So if you want to create skills or enrichments which are very bespoke to your requirements, then you will have to create what is called a custom skill set. The way you do custom skill set is you can create, for example, a function app. To give you an example, let's say I go to my home and then on to my resource group, which was this one. What you do is you click on create, you click on function app, you search for that, and then you create your function app. Stay on consumption, and then give function app a name. We can call it, well, let's say I call it word count because I'm counting the number of words, most commonly used words. You create your runtime stack, that is in which language you will write that function. I used Node.js. I selected the version, and you basically create. Once it's done, you will see the function app like this here. Once you click on it, so only a function app is created at the point. Think of function app as just an environment. That environment will have Node as its, let's say, compiler or runtime, but there's no function in it yet. So to create a function, you click on create, and then you mention what that function would behave like. So will it be an HTTP type function which will receive an HTTP request and will give an HTTP response, or would it be some other trigger from other Azure services? So you basically select a template, like let's say I use HTTP trigger, and then you specify its authentication level, the name of the trigger, name of the function, etc. I did that already. I called my function demo video MC, and then when you click on that, there'll be a default code. You don't want that. You want to create your own code. And this is I say my own code. I copied it from somewhere, one of the Azure tutorials. What this code does is it will receive something called a request and a context, and it's going to give a response. I come to this in a bit more detail. If you look around here, uh, you can click into integrations if in case you want to change something. If you want to change the authentication type or HTTP method supported, you can do that. The function said request. If you remember here, the input is context and request. So I believe I haven't tested it, but this request parameter is called REQ because it's mentioned here that the request will be called REQ. So say you written your code and you want to test it, what you do is you go click on test and run, and the the function expects a request, and that request should have a JSON. That's how skill sets work, and that JSON should have a specific structure. So for each document, there should be a unique identifier, and then there should be a data object, and in that data object there should be properties, and then it should happen for all the records which will be sent to this function. And then the output also have a specific format. You can find it in the documentation. So let's say if I run it, the output also has a specific format. For each record, there should be a data object, and that data object should have fields and values. Now these fields naming is very important. I'll come to that later. So this is, let's say, a function created. And once your function is created, now you have to integrate, you have to make indexer call this skill so that it can pass document to this skill and get this bespoke enrichment which you want. So to do that, you go back to your search service. Then first you go to skill sets, and in the skill sets which already were created, basically add a new field like this. You can find the details in documentation. It says it's a web API skill. The URI comes from so for example, if I go back to the function app, and this was the function, that URI comes from get function URL, the function key. This is the URL which you put in the skill set. I'll go back now and show the skill set again in the search service. Yeah, yeah. So this is the URL from function. Now, this is the important bit which could be confusing. What we are saying is that the input which uh, the merge content will be sent to the function in a field called text, and in response, the response will have a field called top word. And if you let's go back and look at the function. So just remember this: the function expects. So when we say this, what we are saying is the function should expect a field called text, and it will have the content which we want it to work on, and the function should emit a JSON which should have a field called top word. So that's how you do the mapping between what indexer is sending, what the function should expect to receive, what function will get back, sorry, will send back in its response, and what the indexer should expect. So that field mapping is important. So remember, text is input, top word is output when it comes to the function. If we go back to our function here and look at the function, and if I show test run, that's exactly what we had done here. We had sent a JSON. The values, record ID, data are fixed things. This always should follow this format. But in data, text is the input, which this function should expect. And once you run it, the output will be again records is the same, data is the same. It's hard. It's kind. These are fixed formats. But in data, top word is what this function is emitting as the field where the enrichment is. The enrichment here is tiger. So tiger is the most used word, let's say, in the input. So this is the value of the enrichment, and the value of the enrichment can be found in top word. And to look from a code perspective, this is request. It should be the request has values. As you see, request has values, and in the values there is data. Uh, So values, so somewhere in the code, values map to data, and then the data has text, and then in the response, again, response has data and top word as a field as we expected. So response has data field, and data field has top word. Where is top word? Yeah, this one. The data has top word. So remember to make sure that this mapping is correct. So we have done the part where we have told in the skill set how the function will receive the value and what to expect from the function. So we have done the skill set bit. Now the indexer needs to uh, call this function. Call this skill set. It's going to pass the content in text. It should expect the output in a field called top word. And to do that, you go to indexer definition in the indexer, and you create what is called a output field mapping. So this top word is what the function has sent to us. Remember the field top word? This is the top word which function has sent to us. The document is there because Um, Not here. The word documents comes because in the skill set, I believe skill set, uh, we had set something like a context. So what we are saying is within document there'll be a node called text. That text will have the content, and then as output from within document create another node called top word, and that will have the output. So that's essentially the mapping which is in the indexer here, index.json. So this is the mapping here that function will send something back in document top word, and so that's what the indexer is receiving after the enrichment has been done from the function. And then this has to map to index. Remember, the indexer is between your data. It uses skill sets, and its objective is to put the data in index. So it has received the enrichment here in top word, and it should put the data in index in a field called top words. Because if you look here in our index, the field we had created where we want top word to be stored is a field called top words here. So that's how you do the mapping. Uh, if you are adding a field after you run the indexer previously, you're adding a new field, you're making a change to it, then what you need to do is go to your indexer like this and make sure you reset it, and then you run it. And if you have any errors, if you see any errors, you will see them here. I think like in my case, there was an error where some fields were not correct. So I was using an additional field which shouldn't have been there, so I corrected it. But you will see any errors or warnings here. So indexer has been run. It has done the mapping. It has populated the index. And to check that everything is working, you go to Search Explorer and you basically just look for the values. So like in our case, if I'm looking for select top words, if I go run, it will give me the values. So that's how you create an index, use existing skill sets, and also create your bespoke skill sets, or create your specific skill sets and add them in specific fields. Thanks for watching.